I'm a former employee at Havenwood Heritage Heights. It is a retirement center located on Christian Avenue in Concord, New Hampshire. I started working for Havenwood in August of 2024. During this, I won't be giving my opinion. I will only be stating facts and what I heard and saw while I worked there. The first real incident happened on March 28th, 2024. I was put on tray line without any prior training. They simply handed me serving implements and told me to do it. While we were filling third cart, the other server asked me to retrieve something from the steam oven. When I opened it, I was blasted in my face with 400-degree steam. The manager was standing not even 2 feet away when this happened, and I told him I had burned my eye from the hot steam. He looked completely unconcerned and stated, quote, "At least you have two of them." My eye hurt, and he didn't care. He thought I was making a big deal out of nothing. After several days in pain, I told him I needed to see someone, and he reluctantly sent me to Merrimack Valley Health to get my eye checked. The nurse at Merrimack Valley Health put drops in my eyes, and she was horrified. My eye looked like a star field, she said. Micro blisters covered my eye, so she had to refer me to Concord Eye Center because it was beyond her. There I received further treatment. The doctor said that yes, there was scar damage, but the burn was healing and my iris and retina were fine. But I was strongly warned that whatever I do, I shouldn't touch or rub my eye. The doctor told me I could get some over-the-counter eye drops if it was too painful. My vision was saved because I was wearing my glasses at the time. I actually have a copy of that incident report, and this is going to be very important later on. After that incident, I began to actively search for another job. In June, I found another job at Sam's Club that was available, and I wanted to start there right away, but in order to escape the hell of Havenwood. I also worked with two other DSAs. The girls were younger than me, and they were even younger than my young niece. One of them was only 19, and the other new girl they hired, she was only 16. One day, one of the cooks threatened to rape them. Apparently, that is perfectly fine because he was a necessary team member and he said he was, quote, only joking. And of course, everybody jokes about raping young girls, right? I couldn't believe that they both continued to work for Havenwood, especially the 16-year-old, until they sent her up to third floor to serve food. The staff on third floor, I don't have the words to describe them. That 16-year-old girl immediately quit. She was so distraught by the way that they treated her. After she fled, I was assigned to third floor. While I worked on third floor, I never once saw any of the staff wash their hands, and when I asked them about not wearing gloves while serving food, one of the nurses told me, quote, "We are exempt." I spoke to the head nurse who works down in Lodge Assisted Living, LAL, and she said that is false. All staff members need to properly wash their hands and wear gloves. One night while I was emptying the steam trays, I witnessed one of the nurses enter the kitchen. She took a milk from the fridge, retrieved a sippy cup out of the cupboard, poured milk into it, and then she pumped thicket into it. She placed the cover on the top and left. She didn't wash her hands, nor did she put on gloves while she did this. I was revolted. And again, I reported the incident to the head nurse, who later told me that all the staff on third floor were written up for health and safety violations. I absolutely hated serving food on third floor. There were so many issues with the staff. There was another incident when one of the residents rang the bell for service. All of the staff in the dining room left. They went out into the hallway and had a meeting or a powwow or something. I don't even know what they were doing. But they left me alone with all of the residents, and they were completely unsupervised. After the resident rang the bell several times, he got fed up with waiting for one of the staff members to return, and the man got up, but almost immediately he tripped over himself and landed hard and landed on the edge of the counter in front of my station. When he fell, that's when the nurses rushed in. They actually tried to blame me for his fall. I shook my head and I pointed at the lead nurse who she reprimanded me for interacting with the residents only a week before. I was told to remain at my station till all of the residents left the dining room. I was only dining service assistant, so I didn't have the proper training to interact with the residents. After much protest, I was assigned to LAL, Lodge Assisted Living, or tray line. Again, I was not trained on tray line. I was simply given serving utensils and told to do it. I did my best with what little training I had, but like the nurses on third floor, serving residents in their dining rooms is a different animal than serving on tray line. On July the 3rd, I was almost done with Havenwood and I was looking forward to working for Sam's Club. Unfortunately, that night, after I finished up with my duties in LAL, I helped in the kitchen with cleaning and sorting silverware. When I finished sorting the forks, spoons, and knives, I took the full tray of silverware into the dish room, where John was busy at the dishwasher, and he previously complained that I had hit him with the silverware tray, so I placed it down on the stack of dish racks in order to wait for him to get done with the plates he was busy pushing through the dishwasher. I didn't notice that one of the bottom racks was skewed, and the tray of silverware was about to fall, so I stupidly caught it. When I did, I felt it pop in my shoulder and winced a bit. I thought to myself, that's not good, but at the time it didn't hurt. July 4th. While I was pushing the 100-plus-pound cart down to LAL, my shoulder felt like it was on fire. When I pushed the cart back down to the kitchen, it felt even worse. I still had to take the floor supplies back to LAL. I placed all the items in a plastic bin. I still remember 2 orange juices, 1 cranberry juice, 5 1% milks, 5 skim milks, and 5 whole milks, along with several bags of potato chips and a few bags of Doritos. I was in so much pain when I arrived in LAL. I was crying when I dropped the floor supplies off. One of the nurses noticed and she told me I need to get that checked out. I informed Michael, who was the manager on duty at the time, that my shoulder hurt and he shrugged it off. In his statement to the Department of Labor, it states, I carried an empty tote down to LAL. Well, that is half true, because it was empty when I brought it back to the kitchen. On July 7th, which was a Monday, I spoke to the manager, and he begrudgingly filled out a supervisor's accident report. This will be very important. And he begrudgingly called to make an appointment for me to see the nurse at Merrimack Valley Health to get my shoulder checked out. After I finished filling out the report, he got up from his desk and he glared at me. Quote, you know what I think. I think you're a fraud and liar. I was in pain and I shook my head and I refuted him. He glared at me even harder and said, quote, you're the type. You're the type. He didn't believe me when I burned my eye and he didn't believe I had injured my shoulder. During the first hearing with the Department of Labor, I had to sign a waiver so their lawyer could go through all of my medical history. Guess what they found? Nothing. No previous shoulder injury whatsoever. I thought I had an open and shut case, but the state thought different. That accident report went missing. It never arrived at HR, even though I witnessed John filling it out personally. But apparently, Havenwood's upper management can misplace evidence. And that is absolutely fine. Just like threatening rape is absolutely all right. And don't worry, I'm sure the staff on third learned their lesson and they are continuously washing their hands and, of course, wearing gloves. I think Havenwood Heritage Heights is a new slogan. Where we treat our staff like garbage, there's never any work-related injuries, sexual harassment is perfectly okay, especially against minors, and important documents can be trashed. But please, trust us with your elderly.